Hello and welcome to Views on News. I am Jawad. Tehami. Pakistan and the United Arab Emirates have exchanged documents regarding agreements and memoranda of understanding in multiple fields, including mining, railways, banking and infrastructure. This particular development came during a day-long and the first official visit of the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The Crown Prince, upon his arrival, was given a warm welcome and warmly received by President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif at the Noor Khan Air Base. He was presented the Guard of Honor at the Prime Minister's house, where he was also warmly received by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. President Asif Ali Zardari has conferred Nishan-e-Pakistan upon the Crown Prince. There was one-on-one meeting between Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and the Crown Prince also, during which Prime Minister talked of the productive meeting with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi earlier this month. During this particular meeting, the Prime Minister said that it was a matter of huge satisfaction that the two countries were now working more closely than ever before to transform their excellent political ties into a mutually beneficial economic partnership. For his part, the Crown Prince reaffirmed the United Arab Emirates' steadfast support for Pakistan's economic development and prosperity. Earlier, we saw the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Pakistan in a statement said, let me quote, "This visit underscores the deep-rooted fraternal ties between Pakistan and the UAE and reflects the shared commitment to further strengthen bilateral economic partnership," unquote. To talk about the significance of this particular visit, we are honored to be joined in the studio by Mr. ABDUL, senior economist. Mr. Jaleel, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Also on Skype, we are honored to be joined by Dr. SHAZIA ANWER CHEEMA, international relations expert. Dr. SHAZIA, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Also at the same time, Mr. BALOCH, former ambassador, is also joining us on Skype. Mr. BALOCH, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. ABDUL, if you allow me, let me begin the discussion with Mr. BALOCH. Mr. BALOCH, what are the historical foundations of this particular bilateral relationship and how it has evolved over time?
Yeah, I think the history of Pakistan-UAE relationship goes back even prior to partition. We must not forget that both the countries are the kind of which touch the Arabian Sea, and there is a historical evidence to say that to show that the sailors, traders, and people used to travel between these emirates and this part of the world, even pre-creation of Pakistan. And after the independence of Pakistan, and after their independence as well, that was after the Second World War, in 70s actually, Pakistan and UAE relationship, they really the foundations were laid by no less than the founder of UAE, Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the late. He considered Pakistan as his second home, and we know that he built palaces in Regner Khan. He has a home here in Karachi, and in fact, a major portion of the winters used to be with us here every year, and I think that has become a tradition of the Nahyan family that they come and stay here and feel at home. And obviously then obviously that also resulted in further collaboration when after the oil boom in the UAE and their construction boom, and I think it was Pakistan's technical skill, semi-skilled and unskilled people who's really, I always say, whose sweat and tears are in the construction or whatever you see Dubai is. It is at the foundation of the UAE that what we see, may it be their airline, may it be their these high-rise buildings, but definitely the foundation were laid by Pakistan. I'm sure we all know that even the Emirates airline was essentially Pakistan was instrumental, PIA especially, who trained and laid the foundation of a most successful airline today. And then, of course, UAE took a greater creative path of developing its alternate economy other than the oil, the tourism, and transit trade, and port of Dubai became obviously a global hub. Despite all of those, while Pakistan has its own issues and problems, despite all of that, I think at this point of time, UAE remains one of the major investors in Pakistan, UAE government especially, and of course private sector individuals. And UAE is the second largest source of remittances for Pakistan. And of course, there's a lot of investment which has already been undertaken by the UAE government in Pakistan in the sectors of telecommunication, oil refineries, and several other sectors. And now this visit comes with a really a big agenda. I think this agenda was laid down in the past one visit that our Prime Minister did there, where UAE proposed to have $10 billion of investment in the coming 3 to 5 years. And I'm pretty sure that this visit will carry that concept forward. And I think some of the major projects have been identified and there will be MOUs to be signed. And I'm hopeful that we would see concrete action on these proposals and that investment will be to the mutual benefit of both the countries and the people of both the countries. Yes.
Quite a comprehensive view, Mr. Baloch. Let me proceed towards Dr. SHAZIA. Dr. SHAZIA, how big an impetus do you think this particular visit, the first ever visit by the Crown Prince to Pakistan, it was a day-long visit, quite a happening day as far as this particular bilateral relationship is concerned. How much strength do you think it's going to give to already stronger bonds that exist between the two nations?
As Mr. Ambassador has already comprehensively summed up all the relationship and how important UAE for us and how important we are for UAE and what is our bilateral trade and all the help UAE is already giving to us. But this visit is a new shift in the new UAE 2050 vision, in which UAE wants to do heavy investment in friendly countries, such as he did trillions of dollar investment in Indonesia recently. So with this mindset, UAE first time with his own vision of 2050, trying to find out win-win business arrangements in which he can fund immense, huge amount and then can get benefit from that investment. So this is a new thing. Otherwise, UAE is already investing in Pakistan, but not on that magnitude which we are listening for in regard to this trip. UAE is already have a Pakistan support program, UAE PAP, and under that UAE since last 50 years is building schools, hospitals, infrastructure, roads, and all other stuff, providing like polio campaigns and medical aids facilities. But this time we can see after SIFC, we have some margin to welcome the investors who have bigger amount of money. I'm not economist as per se, so I cannot go into the detail of that, but Commerce and Economy is involved in that. But what I am hearing from my resources that UAE and some other Gulf countries, they are interested in Pakistan in doing some huge investment, and which is going to set a new precedent for Pakistan. As we are looking at the memorandums which have been signed today, such as railway, mining, and other infrastructure. So this is under the umbrella of SIFC with the protection of kind and cash, both with bypassing the red tapeism, with facilitation of one window operation, and also all type of security of personnel and the investment. Now we are looking at investment in Recodec and investment in big railway projects, big mining companies, and even in agriculture sector. We are also hearing about UAE companies leasing agri lands in Pakistan for cooperative or for long scale, like for big scale agriculture products. They were looking for these type of lands in Ukraine, but after this Ukraine-Russia war, it was not possible. So now they are looking for the same opportunity in Pakistan. So this today's visit and the memorandums which have been signed are little bit different from the previous one, because it is in the news that the investment which is coming is going to be immense.
Right, Dr. Shazia, I'll come back to you for a number of other aspects to be taken. Your view of Mr. Abdul Jaleel when we talk about the documents regarding agreements and memoranda of understanding which have been exchanged between the two sides include in mining, railways, banking and infrastructure. As Dr. Shazia has already talked of the difference this time around, what's your take regarding that?
Yes, firstly, we will see that there is a history of close cooperation between UAE and Pakistan as well, and there has always been a great scope for a further cooperation in this field. Pakistan have supplied a lot of manpower, well-trained, semi-skilled and the skilled manpower who played very important role in construction of infrastructure of UAE and Dubai as well, which includes Dubai. Our being, as we enjoy a very close relationship, I think so that we must try to identify those areas in which we can further seek our collaboration. Number one is the energy sector. Energy sector, the UAE has got, the UAE and Dubai, this government, in this Sheikhdom government, they have got enough experience, they have got capital, they have got entrepreneurship, and in this field we can seek help for the exploration of energy sector in Pakistan as well. It also includes mineral sector as well. The chain supply system in the world is monitored from the various important places which include in this world, which includes the UAE and Dubai as well. So in this respect, I will say that we must develop a close connectivity with the chain supply system, by virtue of which we can, communicate, we can develop a supply line, or we can connect ourselves with this global supply line with quite a successful outcome. And secondly, thirdly, we have to see we have to see also the potential which we have got, in which we can also provide great service to UAE and to Dubai state. Of course, Dubai is an integral part of it. That's the agriculture sector. They rely on the imported food. This is an area in which we can provide them a lot of good service. Number one. Second, so we will have to, in this respect, we will have to produce surplus. That's very important. And all measures should be taken to increase the agriculture production in this country by taking some drastic measure, which include mechanization of agriculture system. That's a long debate as well. And then we have to see the cattle breeding. That's another area in which we can contribute very richly and earn a lot of revenue from this one. There is a big market exists in this region as well. Thirdly, we should try to, as the government have decided, this is really very important aspect over which we should consider. And both the government have decided to set up a joint financial body, joint banking operation for promoting investment in this country. This is again very much needed as well. The capital plus entrepreneurship. A lot of entrepreneurship available in Pakistan and also available in UAE. And I think a joint research and development body should be established. This is under the supervision of the various ministries of the government of Pakistan. And HEC can also be included in this respect. We must give exposure to, give a full exposure to that expertise which we possess. Right. So right now, I will say that the basic there is a real crisis of connectivity. That the linkages, proper linkages between the various institutions of socio-economic development are not very effective. That we need to reinforce as well.
Right, Mr. Baloch, when we talk about the people-to-people contacts between the two countries, how have they been, and what could be done in order to further enhance them? Could there be a policy of bringing a certain ease regarding different regime, particularly when you talk about the easy going in and coming out, the mutual exchange of the people from one country to another one?
Yeah, Mr. Jawad, before I touch that, I think what we must not ignore is that what are we dealing with when we are dealing with UAE? Irrespective of size of its population or the geographical size, you know what are we dealing with? We're dealing with a country which has one of the largest sovereign wealth funds, and it is $1.4 trillion. Imagine, even if you get a 1% of that, 2% of that, I think it should suffice to develop our mineral resources, to suffice to even revolutionize the agriculture. So I would say that yes, people there would be always some time. These are all seasonal, you know. That's why, in my view, the restrictions sometimes are put, sometimes they are not. That what happens is when the cooperation gets going, the dynamics itself is created where people go, and people also visit Pakistan. So I think it's all about how we create that strategic stake in Pakistan for such a great country, which has such a great money to invest. They go all over the world, Africa to Asia to the North America and so on and so forth. Why not nearby? Why not nearby the people that they know? So I think, yeah, of course, there's been a pretty good, encouraging news that this 10 billion is coming in these 3 or 4 sectors, that is agriculture, mining, telecommunication. There's yet another 25 billion which has been also agreed to between the two countries to go into long-term strategic sectors. That is what we need to discuss, and I think that is where this visit is important from the point of view of our own march or the Vision 2030 of Pakistan. So what we need to do is to bring in somehow or the other our vision of development of 2030 and 2050, which I think, which is there already, a blue book already. So why not to do that? But I as a now former ambassador and former diplomat, and now as a independent analyst, I would say no. Our government needs to do more. We need to do really more to tap into it. It means we're not being creative enough. How we not being creative enough? What we need to do is to really prepare great feasibility reports, which can attract, because it's very competitive. The FDI is not easily given up. You have to be really good at it, that you have the critical mass of people who will run it, you have the infrastructure, and you have a great plan that you can sell it. So this is where I think the emphasis has to come. People will come. If
done on that particular front, as you already in your first take have talked about, as Pakistan have been a great source of human resource supply to the United Arab Emirates, which contributed a lot when it comes to their infrastructure boom in particular. What is required at this particular moment? What sort of skill sets are required when it comes to ensure that supply of human resource to the new United Arab Emirates as it develops?
Exactly. Now, what we have to do is to align the surplus, or even, in fact, if you ask me objectively, we ourselves are short of really well-trained and people with the potential. So we need to have, scores of centers of training, because now UAE is in the next stage of its development. The brick and mortar stage of their development is gone, where we sent it laborers and we sent drivers and supervisors. Of course, we did send it also some bankers later. But I think what we need to do is to go into the IT. IT is one of their priority strategic areas where UAE wants to be the global hub. And I think AI would be yet another new frontier which they will open up. And I think there was some news I saw that because they are very creative. That's the good thing about, and something amazing and is about the UAE leadership, is that they look forward. They are very, very futuristic in their thinking. So already are there. So I think let's align the trained manpower with what we see are the new frontiers which will be developed in UAE and other friendly countries, which are traditional destination for our human resource. So I think we need to really have a special arrangement where we can ask them in the coming 3 years, 5 years, what kind of manpower, set of skills they need, and we can tailor make those skill set training for those people, and they can be and of course training is just not technical skills, but it's about approach, attitudes, and the overall person who's going to contribute to their system. So I think this is very, very important that our Ministry of Human Resource, and I think now is the time that we should start engaging even the provincial governments to tell them to tap their human resource, identify those people. We should bring in the universities into it. We should bring in the technical training institutes into it, that how they should come up with some kind of programs where we train really good engineers, good IT experts, good medical executives, good medical staff, support staff, dentists, surgeons, and precision surgeons, and now of course there's all this technology in the medical field. So I think we need to really renew the entire approach to what kind of human resource we give it to UAE, so that we come out of that state of sending semi-skilled or unskilled manpower. So I think the emphasis should be on skilled manpower, on value addition, which we can value add to their work, as well as would be useful for us as well as
value addition or of utmost importance. Dr. Shazia, question to you was, I just want to go back to that particular question. When it comes to the UAE and Pakistan having the commonality of view and understanding when it comes to the regional issues and the international issues, what's your understanding how this particular understanding, the bilateral understanding, has been historically, and what are the avenues where these two countries can have a collective voice when it comes to addressing the pressing issues the world faces today?
OIC, where they both are member, and they have their collective voice there. They have a unanimous approach about the issue of Palestine, having Palestine a separate state, and there is no other solution for that. They have mutually agreed upon stance on Kashmir issue, and UAE was always of the view that Kashmiris have their own right of self-determination. So far the regional issues and international issues are concerned, UAE and Pakistan share the same stance, and always been supportive to each other. So on that front, that's why we have like 50 plus years of friendship, cordial, warm, and two-way, reciprocal. And it could only be happening if both the countries help each other, knows each other, and as UAE always being supportive to Pakistan, in 2010 flood, in 2020's flood, in 2005 earthquake. We have multiple examples how UAE help us, support us, but this time onward, as our government is taking rightful steps, as the things are being under control, as we are on the right track, because of the multiple steps, including SIFC. My point is that we should take like maximum benefits of the idea of the countries who have investments, and they are looking for the places and venues for that investment. So we should commodify that. We should utilize that. And as Mr. Ambassador has said, we should be creative to propose things, and only then we can be able to maximize the value of the investment, which these countries are already looking for the venues. So they are finding places to have that investment, in which they not only they can get benefit, the host country is also going to be the beneficiary of that investment. So we just have to be on that same right track for a couple of more years.
This is where to invest heavily, and we should be creative in that particular regard to provide them that sort of an environment, which already the government is trying to facilitate the foreign investors through different initiatives that include the Special Investment Facilitation Council. Mr. Abdul Jaleel, Special Investment Facilitation Council, agriculture remains to be one of the key areas in that particular regard. Also, you also said that could be the area that could be explored. Livestock, you already mentioned also the cattle breeding. It is also one of those key areas that are being focused in SIFC. When you talk about the joint ventures, what's the importance, firstly, of joint ventures when it comes to the bilateral economic and trade relationship? And what are those identified areas where these joint ventures between Pakistan and the UAE could be brought in and could be given a force?
You know, joint venture means that we should try to explore those fields in which we can work together for a greater social and economic ends through a win-win situation. That's very important. For example, the tourism is a very important factor. Many people already, I mean, there is a lot of tourism. You know, the tourists, a lot of Pakistani who visit Dubai, and a lot of, I mean, the people from UAE, the UAE national who come to Pakistan as part of, you know, for enjoying the sightseeing of Pakistan. So this is an area in which we need to be more professional as well. For example, cruise services should be established between Dubai and Pakistan as well. This is a very important area. And geographically, it is not very far off from the coast of Karachi as well. Many people would like to would travel to Dubai as part of a tourist, and they will go, they will stay there, and similarly they should come here, and we should develop these sightseeing in Pakistan as well. As we have seen that the royal family member as well as the UAE investor, they like to make investment in hotel, you know, in hotel industries. And mostly the hotel industry have been established world over, if you see, in those places which carries a lot of scenic beauty. Pakistan is one of those areas, especially our Himalayan region. This whole northern area carries a unparalleled beauty in the world. We should develop this area. We should develop this area by international standard to attract the, investment of to attract investment of UAE investors as well. In this respect, we will have to develop communication facility. We will have to develop social sector, education, health sector. That's very important as well. And we can see how our hotel industry, it is making some progress, but at a very slow pace. This is an area in which I would say the government should come up as a partner, and they should provide some incentive to those investors who wants to develop hotel industry from the Kagan, Naran, and other areas as well. And along with that, we can develop. We should provide a proper connectivity through the joint airline services as well. This is
okay. So you already in your first talked of. You suggested the formation of a joint R&D body, the research and development body. Also, you were of the view it is very important to take in loop the Higher Education Commission as well as the universities in that particular regard. When it comes to being creative, as already suggested by the two other participants, being creative and trying to take the advantage of the lucrative opportunity, the investment opportunity the UAE provides us with, and also when historically Pakistan has been a great source of a supply of human resource, the skilled as well as semi-skilled, as you already mentioned. What is required at this particular point in time with the changing circumstances at the global level, as the UAE is developing into future with its vision of 2050, what sort of skill set or what sort of a skilled manpower is required so that we could continue that very tradition of providing great human resource to the UAE?
You know, number one, you will see what is the real success of UAE. It has developed an international market, number one. Number two, it has created a human service institution which carries international credibility. Their hospital and their universities as well. This is an area in which we need to learn from, and I will suggest that we must develop a joint R&D, research and development body, in which HEC should act as a as a stakeholder as well. And let's develop a intellectual affinity, and let's develop a forum where intellectual from both the society, creative element from both the society, from Pakistan and the UAE, they should work together and develop, and develop program as given the situation that we carry a lot of historical, cultural, religious affinity with them. And they have very successfully developed certain economic and a social model of human service, and we need to learn a lot about them. Similarly, our country provides a lot of opportunity for the economic development of these sheikhdom as well. So that, for example, Pakistan can provide a lot of trained manpower, especially in field of medical and nursing field. Nursing field is an area in which there is this is an area in which every country, is looking. Every country is running short of the nurses, and they need a trained nurses. Pakistan has got quite a flourishing manpower. Especially the situation given the situation that 67% of total population, it falls below the age bracket of 35. So we should train manpower, I would say.
Okay, so this is one area that you've just identified. I know for a fact the health sector, there have been negotiations with other countries as well. When we talk about the US, particularly the state of New York has been in negotiations with provinces here as far as receiving manpower in this particular sector of nursing for them is concerned. What about education sector? What about the teaching profession? What sort of prospect does it carry when it comes for Pakistani teachers or the mentors going to the UAE?
In teaching sector, I would say an academic circle. Now the academic circles are dominated by the IT skilled manpower. That is an area in which Pakistan can provide a very effective sector, because we have made a major development in IT sector, especially in software development, in our soft development trade and exports. This is an area in which we should increase our scope of the export, both of the manpower and the software as well. And software industry in Pakistan, should also be should be encouraged with further financial input as well. Number one. Secondly, I would say, as you know, the engineering sector, heavy engineering sector and the light engineering sector. This is very important as well. Pakistan has got a very good engineering, well-developed heavy engineering sector, which is owned both by the civilians, civilian department, civilian structure, as well as armed forces as well. And both of them have got capacity to, to manufacture, manufacture vehicles and other, the goods of heavy engineering and light engineering. This is an area in which we should now try to seek some collaboration as well. We have got manpower and we have got good heavy engineering workshop as well. There are some deficiency. It is because of the lack of the investment. Further, the investment, we have got entrepreneurship. If proper capital is provided, they can, I think, they can show a very good performance by international standards.
Right. Mr. Baloch, one last very important question. As I already asked you regarding as to the importance of the people-to-people contact, so when it comes specifically to this particular bilateral relationship and how the cultural exchanges could be promoted between the two nations.
Definitely, I think culture is an important aspect of the overall relationship. In fact, we have such a great affinity with the UAE. You go and visit and you will see a lot of Arabs speaking Urdu, a lot of Pakistanis speaking Arabic. So I think it is important. But I think I want to really chip in here two more important strategic areas where UAE is the torch bearer and we must join them. One is the climate change, as we saw that COP29 was held there, and they have very, very big national program with regard to measures at the strategic level for the climate change. Number one. Number two is the alternate energy. In fact, UAE wants to be the center of innovation for the alternate energy. And as we all know,
Mr. Baloch, unfortunately, we're short of time. I'll have to go to Dr. Shazia for her quick last comment. Dr. Shazia, please go ahead.
Yeah, I will continue what Mr. Ambassador was saying, that for people-to-people connection, these two strategic areas are very important, which he was mentioning. And also, if we have what we have seen, a recent agreement between Nakhchivan and Lahore, Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic of Azerbaijan and Lahore, their culture, their traditions, their oral history, folk wisdom, and these type of agreement can also be done between the city levels, and that can even enhance the people-to-people connection and cooperation, and people can come and visit and see that, and then debunk all the propaganda spread by our adversaries. So this can also be a very good idea if we want to connect people on a very ground level from.
Shazia, I'll have to wrap the show over here. Unfortunately, we're short of time. Dr. Shazia and CHEEMA, international relations expert, joining us on Skype. Mr. G.R. Baloch, former ambassador, joining us as well on Skype. And in the studio, we're joined by Mr. Abdul Jaleed, senior economist. Mr. Abdul Jaleed, thank you very much for your time also, for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we come to the end of today's episode. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.